Hey guys, this is JAde with Us Jamming, and today I want to talk about the Korg Monologue and why I think it's such an awesome synth for a beginner. Today we're going to be doing a little tutorial going through all the features, and pretty much you'll see why this is a great synth if you're just getting into synthesis. Let's get right to it. Alright, so on the back of the Monologue we have a 9V DC positive polarity jack, but it can also take 6 AA batteries. We have the power button, USB, MIDI in and out, and sync in and out that can be used with Volcas or modular, an audio in, audio out, and a 1/4-inch headphone jack. I keep batteries in mind, so I'm going to power it on. This is an analog synthesizer, so it takes about 10 seconds for it to get in tune. I'm going to go to Initial Program so we can start from scratch. To the left is VCO1. Right now, we're on the saw wave. This is the triangle and square. Below that is a knob that shapes our wave. What we just heard was VCO1 by itself. Now let's add the second VCO. We can tune it with the pitch knob all the way down or all the way up. The little screen shows us what the tuning is. We also have a shape knob for VCO2. VCO2 can be a saw wave, a triangle wave, or noise. When the sync switch is all the way up, the face of oscillator 2 is synced to oscillator 1. When it's in the middle position, both sync and ring modulator are turned off. When all the way down, oscillator 1 is used to ring modulate oscillator 2. The filter you'll find on the Monologue is a low-pass filter. The filter and resonance knob work together to shape the sound. The position of one will affect the other. Careful with the resonance knob. At its peak, it can be ear-piercing. That's for any synth. This switch changes the VCA and target parameters over time. The first one controls attack and decay. The second adds a gate to the attack and decay. The third one is just a gate. The decay knob specifies how long the note will play. The attack knob controls the time it takes for the envelope generator to reach its maximum level once the note is played. The knob labeled int sets the intensity of the envelope generator. The target switch lets us choose what parameters will be affected. pitch from VCO1, VCO2, or the filter cutoff. Now let's check out the LFO. I love LFOs. The one on the Monologue is one of my favorites. The target switch for the LFO can control either its pitch, shape, or cutoff. One of the coolest features of the Monologue, just like the Mini-Log, is the oscilloscope, which shows you what is happening to the sound as you make changes. Now let's look at the buttons. Edit mode is where we edit all our settings for the program, sequencer, and global. Here are the setting pages. The first one is master tune. Metronome on or off. Settings for the sync-in jack. MIDI channels 1 through 16. Our parameter display. What type of battery you're using. If you're using rechargeable batteries, choose the NIMH. User octaves, user scales, and system dump. Exit to exit. Let's check out our program settings. The first one is our portamento time, which causes a continuous glide in pitch between notes. The higher the amount, the more glide that will be applied. Here we can choose what parameter the slider will affect. The default setting is pitch bend. You can choose from gate time, VCO1 pitch, VCO1 shape, VCO2 pitch, VCO2 shape, VCO1 level, VCO2 level, our filter cutoff, which is a fun one, the resonance, the envelope generator intensity, attack, decay. This is also a fun one. Our LFO rate. Whoops. This one's fun too. LFO intensity, and portamento. Pretty much every single parameter on this thing can be set to the slider. Next are our pitch settings, where we can adjust the Monologue's microtuning to the preset scales or user scales. On other settings, you can change the LFO, BPM sync, cutoff velocity, etc. I'm not going to go through every single setting on each page, there's other videos out there that do that. We can change the name of our program, initialize program, or dump. Next we have our sequencer settings where we can change the BPM, the step length. The Monologue only has a 16-step sequencer in comparison to its older sister, the Minilogue, which has a 64-step sequencer. And clear our sequence and sequence settings. Motion clear, motion enable, and the smoothness. Alright, now let's make a sequence. There's two ways of doing this. The first one is by entering the steps. Press rest to skip a step. This switch lets us see our motion record settings. If I press record and turn a knob, that motion will be recorded. After the motion is recorded, the rec button will become unlit, and you need to press it again if you want to record another motion. You can record up to 4 motion recordings. If you don't like your motion recording, you can record over it. Once all 4 slots are filled, it will let you know it's full. Here you can see what parameters were recorded and you can clear your motion recordings. Let's save this program. By pressing right, we save the sound and sequence we just created. And there it is. To clear your sequence, press Shift and rest. Now it's all clear. The other way to record into the sequencer is to live record. First press play, then record. In this mode, it's really easy to keep adding to your sequence. There's another way to play your sequence, which is the key trig hold. When this is active, you can transpose your sequence live. The tempo knob controls your sequence BPM. You can also replace your sequence by simply recording on top of it. Let's listen to some of the presets on this thing before signing off. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and support our sister on Patreon for more tutorials and reviews. Catch you later.